I'm back with part 2 of the in-depth look at my makeup collection, and today we're going to be doing highlighters. So as you can see, I have all my compacts, including highlighters, stored in my IKEA Alex 5 drawer unit, and then I have them organized in these incredible acrylic dividers, which are by the amazing Vanity Collection, so I will link them below if you're interested in checking them out. But I have all of my highlighters in the same drawer as my blushes. I'm literally running out of room, so I'm gonna have to start a new drawer soon, but I love Vanity Collections because it just really displays your makeup so beautifully. But I have a fair few highlighters to get through. I didn't really realize how many highlighters I owned until I sat down to film this video, so I'm going to stop jibber jabbering and just get into showing you the highlighters. Alright, so the first babies I have here are by Hourglass. Now these are their ambient lighting strobe lighting powders. I have two. I have one in incandescent strobe light and in iridescent strobe light. Now if you're interested in buying these, I would buy one, not both, because they are super duper similar. So I will say with these highlighters, they are definitely a much more natural looking highlight. They're super pretty, but probably not as blinding as what I like these days. I never used to be overly into highlight too much. I think I just didn't know how to apply it and didn't know how to work with it. So I got these, and when I first got them, I used to love them, but now I'm kind of more into that blinding highlight type of thing. So these are a little bit too natural for my, oh, you can literally see me. Hey guys, I look like a fool. So next up I have two Tarte highlighters. This first one is in this shade Stunner, and it is really pretty. It kind of has nearly like a burgundy undertone. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's super pretty. I really like it. I've worn it a bunch of times in pictures on Instagram and also in videos and stuff. So this is the Exposed highlight by Tarte. Like I was saying, it is one of the most beautiful champagne-y blinding highlights I've ever seen in my entire life. A lot of people call this a natural highlight. I definitely don't agree. I don't think it's natural by any means. I feel like it has a really intense reflect and it's stunning. Next up I have some Becca highlighters here. I used to use my Becca highlights all the time. This little one is a mini and it's in the shade Opal, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never used it. And I only just realized I actually had an Opal highlight. I hauled a little Becca palette not long ago and it had Opal in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't own Opal, but obviously I do, I just didn't realize. So this next one, this is a poured one, I believe, and it's the pearl one. So I purchased the poured formula over the powder one because literally the powder one was never in stock. It is such a beautiful color if you're super fair, but I wish I had it in the powder form. I don't really like cream highlighters. I feel like, especially in this formula, I find them really difficult to work with. I'm not super experienced when it comes to makeup. I'm still learning a lot every day, and I just haven't sort of mastered the application of this one. But it is a really, really pretty color. I just wish I had it in the powder instead. So this next one is in the shade Moonstone, and although it doesn't look like I've touched it much, I actually have gotten so much use out of this. When I very first started my YouTube channel and Instagram, this is one of the first high-end highlighters I purchased for myself, and I used to use it all the time. I do actually prefer this over Champagne Pop. I find Champagne Pop, which I do own, is a little bit too dark for my personal liking. This next one is Champagne Pop. So that's it there. This is Moonstone and this is Champagne Pop. So do you just see how it's just that tiny bit deeper and kind of more rose goldy? And it's just that tiniest bit too dark for me, I feel like, but I still love it. Still love it as well. This next one is, oh, Pearl, hang on. I totally forgot I had Pearl. You guys, what is wrong with me? I literally was just saying how I got the poured one. I must have got the poured one before I got the powder, because I actually have Pearl in the powder. Just shows how much you forget what you own when you have too much makeup. I'm trying my hardest to really not hoard too much makeup anymore, but Becca highlighters are one thing I cannot get rid of because they're expensive. And actually I should give Champagne Pop to my mum. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot believe that. I totally forgot I had Pearl in the powder. I feel like an idiot. Wow. But anyway, this is Pearl in the powder. So these next ones are like Ride or Die Holy Grails. This is a MAC Soft and Gentle. Holy moly, This is one of the first ever highlighters I purchased for myself. I actually think it might be the very first highlighter. And I purchased this because of Carissa Pukas, I think, because she was like my obsession back when I first started watching YouTube. And I used to use this every single day, and I've hardly even made like a dent on the dome. That is how much product is in this highlight. It wouldn't be a bad thing if highlighters were literally this size, because when the hell am I going to get through all of this? Honestly, when am I going to get through all of this product? But Soft and Gentle is one of my favorite highlighters. It looks quite dark in the pan, but it comes off a really beautiful, I can't even sort of really describe it, kind of like neutral, shimmery champagne color. Like it's a little bit more neutral in tone, not so goldeny, and it is so stunning. I remember when I first got it, I had to kind of like scrape off the top layer to get it to become really pigmented on my cheekbones. So at first I didn't like it. I was like, what is this? I thought it was meant to be blinding. But after I actually cracked through sort of the top surface, it was perfection. So if you guys have trouble with any highlighters, I would recommend kind of just like brushing away the top layer of the product to try and get through, because sometimes they have like a little bit of a film over them. And then I also got, at last I'm at, so when was that? It was November, I think. I got Double Gleam, which is a new extra dimension skin finish, and oh, this is so beautiful. So it's a lot lighter than Soft and Gentle, as you can see, but it is absolutely so beautiful on the cheekbones. It works perfect on me, whether I be fake tanned or my pale normal self. I feel like it's a bit like Moonstone from Becca, but that tiny bit creamier in color. I love it so much. It is another one of my favorites. I feel like it's in my top 5. These two highlighters are definitely in my top 5. So is the Tarte. Oh, I love them. I love them, I love them, I love them. So next up the back of the drawer, I have a bunch of Gerard Cosmetics highlights. This first shade is in the color Sophia. This is stunning. Their highlighters are actually really good, guys. If you're looking for a more inexpensive highlighter that has really pretty packaging, definitely check out Gerard Cosmetics. The gold compact looks so beautiful when displayed, and I actually like the fact it has this plastic little flippy bobby, because it means you don't get like powder everywhere, or if God forbid you shattered your highlighter, at least it would all be concealed in one little place. This next one is in Marilyn. So it's still sort of the same color spectrum, but darker yet again. Then I have Grace. Grace is actually really similar to Moonstone. That's the one that's like Moonstone. I was trying to think, I was like, there's one that's like Moonstone. I know there was. Yeah. That's the one that's more like Moonstone. So super gorgeous. I feel like they're a bit of a dupe actually for each other. And then I also have, this one is called Audrey. And Audrey is yet again, see how they're all kind of like in the same color family? Like they're not super different. They're all kind of like just different depths. This one kind of has a little bit of pink in it. I don't know if you'll even be able to tell that on camera, but this one just has that little bit of pink in it, sort of undertone wise. Actually, so does Sophia. It's kind of slightly pink too. And then right up the back here, I also have some ColourPop highlighters. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like these. I got them probably a year and a half ago, whenever they first came out, might have even been longer. I have the shade Smoking Whistles and the shade Stole the Show. And it's kind of the same thing that I was talking about before, like with Becca's poured highlighters. They're just a very funny consistency. Like they're kind of wet. So it's like too hard for me to get my head around. Like I'm just too basic, and I want something that's gonna be easy to use, not like require me to have to use my brain, if you get what I mean. So this one is called Stole the Show, but I just don't love the formulation of these, which is why I haven't repurchased them since. I just found them a little bit too tricky for my basic self to use. So I also have a Bobbi Brown highlight, a Bobbi Brown highlight called Opal Glow. This is really pretty. It's like a pinky sort of duochrome style highlight Isn't it so pretty? I haven't worn this much just because I don't really wear pinky highlights much, but Bobbi Brown is such a gorgeous brand. There's no way I could part with this, and you never know, there's going to come a day that I might want a pinky highlight, so I keep it for that reason. I actually have just been sent some new ones, which I'll show you in a second. So on my bookshelf, I have this little area here. These are actually two separate acrylic pieces. This one is from a company called Pillow Talk, and this one is from my favorite Vanity Collections, and it's actually a foundation stand. So I just have some of my prettiest sort of looking highlighters and other bits and bobs in here. The first are the Too Faced highlighters. So this one is called Blinded by the Light by Too Faced. This is actually a really, really pretty highlighter. I love it. It's a little bit more natural looking on the cheeks, but you can certainly build it up if you want a more intense highlight. And then this one is called Ray of Light. It is like a rose gold coppery color. I haven't actually used this one on my cheeks yet, so I have no clue how it actually performs on the face, but it looks really pretty nonetheless. That's half the reason why I bought these Too Faced highlighters, is just because the packaging was so incredibly stunning. Like, I needed to have it in my collection. So up the back here, I have my Anastasia and Nicole Guerrero highlighting palette, and you guys, this thing is so incredibly beautiful. It is more of like a highlight that has that beautiful sheen but also has some glitter in it. So if you're not a fan of glittery highlights, you may not like this. But Glow Getter, I think I would have to say, is my #1 ride or die, all-time favorite highlighter to date. It took the place of all my MAC highlighters and everything. It is just so beautiful, that color. It looks perfect on my skin when I'm fake tan. I'm literally obsessed. They are all so beautiful, and I'm so happy I actually got it. I wasn't going to get it because I didn't think these highlight colors would look any good on me. I thought these would be way too dark, but they actually look stunning on the skin. So I definitely recommend checking it out if you don't mind a little bit of a glittery highlight. So I have recently received some new ones in the mail, which I haven't had a chance to haul just yet, but this first one is called Sunrise Glow by Bobbi Brown. Oh, it is so stinking pretty. It has it's like champagne with blushy tones swirled through it. So it's more than one color. And I also got this one, which is called Tawny Glow, and it is sort of still has like pinkish undertones, but is still very much in the champagne family. I might actually show you these side by side as well. But this is why I like these two, because even though they have the pink undertones, they still have the champagne undertones too. So it gives you still neutral vibes with that little hint of pink. If you watched my last 2 haul videos, you would have seen these couple of highlight palettes. Now I do have a bunch of other face palettes which have highlighters as well as like blushes and contours and stuff, but I'm not going to include them in today's video because they're sort of face palettes, and I'm just only showing the highlight palettes specifically. So this particular one is Afterglow palette by Urban Decay. So they're 4 brand new exclusive highlighter shades. I've never tried their highlighters, so I have no idea what these are like. They look very pretty, however, I'm not sure how this bottom right color will go for myself personally. Looks like it might be a little bit too dark. But then I also have the Anastasia Glow Kit in, what is it? Sun Dip. So this is like the super bronzy one. I'm undecided if I'm actually going to keep this palette for myself yet, or if I'm going to give it away, because I don't know if I'm going to use those colors. As much as Anastasia highlighters are literally life and I want them all, at the same time, there's no point me keeping this palette if I can't make those shades work for me, and I don't want to swatch them or try them in case I don't like them, because I'd rather give it to one of you guys. And actually I do have the Huda Beauty 3D highlight palette, but I'm not going to bother opening that up because, like I said before, it's got other sort of face powders in it too, and I'll keep that for my face palette video. I also have up on my desk up here another highlighter. This is the Benefit Dandelion Skin Twinkle. I reach for it very often because it just has the most perfect sort of champagne pinky undertone. It is very, very pretty on the cheeks. It is definitely a much more of a natural looking highlight, but it's more like a glow. So it makes your skin look really radiant. So I love the Dandelion Skin Twinkle by Benefit. It is stunning. So guys, that is literally every single individual highlighting product I have in my collection. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and I'd love to know in the comment section what your holy grail #1 go-to highlight is. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the very end. I appreciate it, and I'll be talking to you all really soon. I hope you have a great day. Bye.